Guys, relationship advice. If you want a long-lasting, healthy, positive, wonderful relationship, I've never really had one. Just kidding. Sort of, maybe, but we're going to talk today. All right. All seriousness, I have had some potentially healthy relationships, but never. I have this curse. 6 times now, I have dated someone for longer than 1 year, but not hit 2 years. I've never had over that. So, Ali, are you ready to be the first? Not in every way, but in that way.
I'm up for the challenge.
You're so like smart and sophisticated. I'm just like all over the place. I'm over here already making sex jokes, and you're just like, I'm just gonna put on my shades and be cool. All right, so yes, relationships. That's what we're here to talk about. How long have we been dating?
A little over 3 months.
That was a question to make sure she'd been paying attention. She's on the ball.
June 12th will make 4 months.
Let's see if we can do it, guys. Comment below if you think we'll be together on June 4th. 12th. Shit.
Are you a little nervous about this talk?
No, I just have no idea. Did not script this at all.
Okay.
Going in blind, hard, fast.
You do that in other ways.
All the things. Guys, this is not for kids. If you have small viewers, please have them exit the room right now. No, but seriously though, reading the other day in my mom's journal about how 4 days after I was born, they had sex again for the first time, that was wonderful. Anyways, all right, relationships. What do you need for a healthy relationship? What comes to mind?
That's a question for me.
Or the ghost in the back, but maybe you.
Oh, okay.
Ali, what do you think is the cornerstone for a good foundation for a relationship? A healthy one.
I think good communication.
I was thinking the same thing. We are so in line. What does that look like, though? Because, like, everybody says good communication. What does that mean? Give me an example.
For me, it's creating a safe space for each other to communicate and be vulnerable and expressive without any defensiveness. I think we do that pretty well, just creating a safe space where we can be open and honest about our feelings or whatever we have going on, so that we can try to understand each other better.
I do think we do a good job of that. I think I've been through a lot of therapy. You've been through a lot of self-growth, and that's allowed us to be effective communicators. I feel like there's a lot of, I took a class on this. I forget what it was. It might have been marketing or something, but like effective communication, like you have to actually get the message out. You have to write it or say it, right? Mm-hmm. But then they have to hear it, then they have to interpret it, and then they make sure that they received it correctly. So one thing I will do a lot, I have this like innate desire to be understood. So I'll often ask for clarification. Like, did that make sense to you? Do you understand what I said? Did you hear me? Sometimes I'll talk and then I might just be listening, but not acknowledge it. I'll be like, is she listening to me? Are you listening? And then she'll say yes. Am I on the right track here?
You brought up a good point about others understanding what you said, the message you're trying to get across, because we all perceive things differently. And we've had this come up in our relationship where one word may have a certain meaning to you and a word may have a different meaning to me. So it's important for us to be expressive as to what was the point that you were trying to make, or why you used that word, or what did you mean by it, because a lot of the times we're perceiving things a little differently.
Yes.
So it's okay to just say, hey, this is what I actually meant, and take the communication a little further, so we're on the same page.
I have a concrete example. The word tell or told. For Ali, to her, that word could mean like, not I told you to go to the store, I told you to clean up.
It's not a demand.
Like, it's not a demand, it's not an order, it's more of like informing. Like, don't you remember I said this? But for me, if I'm like, hey, I told you I needed that, it's almost more of like, I'm telling you. It's an order. So like, for me, I try not to use that word, and sometimes when she says it to me, I'm like, whoa, you never told me to do that, but you did inform me about it. So different learning your partner's communication is important too. I think also learning, going that extra step deeper, trying to understand their point of view. And I think Ali and I are so similar mentally, like we thought process works down a very similar path. We can sometimes figure out each other in ways that are beneficial to us understanding. Like, for example, I'm not picking on you. I'm just throwing out one of your areas. Coming from a controlling relationship in the past and being made to think that you couldn't have maybe like your own ideas all the time or your own autonomy. I think sometimes you're a little bit of pushback if I say something, right? Am I wrong? Right.
Well, yeah. I think I'm hyper vigilant right now because I was in a relationship for 20 years and it's been almost 2 years since I've separated. So I feel like this relationship with John has been kind of a mirror for me where I have a little bit of PTSD still from that relationship where, yes, I've done a lot of growth and healing, but there's only so much you can do on your own. When you're actually in relation with somebody is when you start to see where there's another layer. And I think we've picked up on that where I'm in this very like sensitive state of my independence and wanting to do things my way, and like I don't want anybody like blocking me in or fitting me into a box or telling me what I can and can't do. And so yeah, I think you understand that, and so when you give me advice, you always say what you say, but then after it's kind of like, it's just my opinion, you can take it if you'd like it or not. I'm not going to get offended by it either way. So I think you always come across where it's not that you're trying to control me or tell me what to do or that you know what's best. It's just like, this is my 2 cents on it and you can take it or leave it.
Yeah. And to give you a lot of credit, there will be times where I'll get a little bit of pushback, almost like whatever I say hits a button and I didn't mean anything by it. And I don't think Ali meant to respond any certain way by it. But then I'll voice how I feel. And again, like that's a big part. Voice your feelings, not accusing, not blaming, just saying like, this is how I feel. And then Ali will like come to my aid and be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I probably said it this way. I didn't really mean it like that, and vice versa. And like, I did go ahead and like pick on Ali and put hers first. For me, I will drive her crazy. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, we can talk about this attachment style too.
Yeah, attachment styles are good. There's books you can read on them. There's like 3, right? 3 main attachment styles?
Yes, the anxious, the avoidant, and
then I think healthy or something?
Healthy, yeah.
Like codependent, no, maybe? I believe there's, healthy, anxious, and avoidant. No. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm more of healthy. I actually was told that by a therapist. But when I am not healthy, I'm more of the anxious type. So what do I do if something's not going right for me in the relationship? Are we okay? Are you okay? Am I okay? Like that constant communication, looking for confirmation that things are okay. Whereas you're a little bit more of the avoidant type. You like to process by yourself, maybe get some outside thoughts coming in outside of the relationship and give it time, because usually time heals wounds or time gives perspective. Not necessarily, I don't think either are inherently bad.
It's just understanding the person you're dealing with and how they handle their attachment style. And so for me it makes sense because when we have stuff come up and you're constantly like, are you okay? Is everything okay? You always wanting to know. Like, I understand you're coming from a good place of just wanting to make sure that we're okay and I'm not upset. Whereas at the beginning, when I didn't know John very well and we were still getting to know each other, I would get a little defensive about it. Like, well, why? Should I be upset about something? Do I look upset? Am I giving off that energy of like, I am not in a good mood? Do I have a sour face? Like, why do you keep asking me this? And I just couldn't understand until I started to realize This is his style of being in a relationship. He just wants to make sure the partner's okay. And for me, I think when you would pick up on me being a little bit more avoidant, and you're like, I feel like she's shutting off, which is funny because if I'm avoiding and shutting off, you're immediately going to go into your anxious attachment style, because it's like, wait, what's wrong? Why are you shutting off? Like, why are you pushing me away? And I can see why you feel that way, but for me, it's not personal. It's like, I need to be with my thoughts. I need to process this. I need to feel this. Just spend some time with myself. I'm very much of that type of person that likes to go within and process things, because also I know that when we're emotional or something triggers us, we don't come from the best place sometimes when we're emotionally triggered. And I don't ever want to say or do something that I'm going to regret later for no reason. So if I can take some space from the situation and just be with myself and process my emotions, and he can respect that, you know, it's something we've had to understand about each other. And so, like, when you ask me, are you okay? And I'm learning, instead of me just saying, oh, I'm fine, so that he can stop, which is what I was doing at the beginning, I'm like, I'm processing something. It's going to be fine. I just need to sit with this right now. Which I don't think helps you sometimes either, because it's like, okay, well, what is she processing, or why is she feeling some type of way? Or
it helps me to know that she is processing. There is still that little voice that I'm working on that's like, yeah, but is she processing that she's going to break up with you, or is she processing how we're going to move forward? And I should know that by now, that Ali is a committed partner, and
we are only 3 months in.
We are only 3 months in, which is insane, because it does feel like a lot longer. It really does. It's been a fast-moving 3 months. The baby should be here in 6. We're not having a kid. Right?
No.
Anyways, sorry, I got distracted. We are going to have, probably super late now, but some footage of today's training. Drinking my pre-workout, we're about to go train. We're going to have that on the screen to keep you entertained if this isn't entertaining enough. But couples that train together grow together. That's what I said earlier. Get it? Like, play on words. Like you grow your muscles, but you also grow your relationship.
I think they get it.
I think they get it. They're smart. Y'all are smart cookies. If you're such a smart cookie, let me know by hitting that like button. Anyways, I think still we're like on communication. We're probably gonna have a series here. Or we'll just call this one communication. Sean, communication in a healthy relationship. Communicating your needs. Like, for example, I'm needing to have some more me time. Not even necessarily me time, but just like less work time. Not less, well, maybe slightly less. Slightly less work time. Ali has her needs too. Like, she wants me to spend a little bit of time in Lakeland. It's a very nice car, an Audi R8. I believe one of the last gated shifter manuals that you could buy, I think it has a V10. Sorry, that has nothing to do with this.
He loves cars, apparently.
I do love cars, guys. But communication, and like, Ali wants me to spend some time out in Lakeland, where she's from. And I had blocked off...
I'm from Miami, but I live in Lakeland.
Lives in Lakeland. Let's see, communication. I had blocked off a couple days where I just literally put like nothing. Like, it says on my calendar, nothing. Because I don't want to do anything. Like, honestly, if I just get high and sit in bed all day, I think I have to train those days, so still will train. Like, I don't want a podcast, I don't want to interview, I don't want to have to work, I don't want to have to film. I just want like 2 days to recover. And she's like, well, we could go back to Lakeland. And I was like, I don't even want to drive. Like, so, okay, let me make sure your needs are met. Let me find the next free day that I have that we can go out there. But I'm still going to keep mine. And like, that, it feels like compromise, communicating what we both need. And that can be in a lot of ways. That can be in the time that you spend together, in the activities that you do, sex. Like, you need to vocalize what's inside of you, because nobody here is a fucking mind reader. Like, we're kind of close. We often think similar things. I knew she was going to say communication when I said what's an important foundation for a relationship. Like, I already knew that. I'm smart. Not a mind reader, though. So I don't always read your mind. What's something that I completely like? Oh, dates. Dates, right? We're going to Cinnaholic after this. Going on a date. I was going to say a date night, but it's like a date day. A date? We're going on a date. Ali expressed that she would like a date a week. Actually, she expressed that we really don't go on dates. And I was like, we do go on dates. But what she was really saying is she wants more dates. And when she said she wants more dates, I needed a tangible goal. What's more dates? 1 a month? 2 a month? 1 a week? 2 a week? What are we at? And we kind of came to the agreement that like 1 quality date per week would occur. But then we got even more into the weeds. Well, if it's a date that's an hour away, normally Ali would drive while I sit here working the whole way there and working the whole way back. And like for her, she's like, I'm kind of like a chauffeur that gets a date in the middle. So when we go on dates, I drive. And we're not technically on the date yet. We'll be on the date after the gym. So I'll drive after the gym to the date location because we're kind of working right now. So this is fun work, and I think it's helpful work. And I've talked a lot.
I think you hit on a lot of good points. Valuing needs, coming from the relationship that I had, if I valued my needs, it wasn't very important. It wasn't, it was kind of like you're being needy or you're being ungrateful because look at all these other things I already do for you. Like, what else do you need? You always need something else. So I think being with John at the beginning, I didn't want to really express my needs because I didn't want to come off that way. But he kept wanting to know what my needs are. And then there was a little point where I got a little defensive too, where it's like, for example, I mean, you should know that like I'm a girl and I like to go on dates. Like we just started dating. Why wouldn't I want to be going on dates? Like how does this not occur to you, you know? And then I realized, hey, this is what building a healthy relationship is. You communicate, you express. We value different things. John values his time. I value our quality time, dates, tidiness, you know, like he values being able to check off his to-do lists. And so like compromising that to where he can meet his goals and his needs and fit in what I need for myself or our relationship, which is the dates. So yeah, I think we've done a good job with that. We crossed a little bridge where it's like, okay, this is okay. We can talk about our needs. We can talk about the dates. We can, and that's another thing. For him, it's very much like, well, what do you mean by a date? Like he said, is it, what kind of dates are you looking for? Or how many times are you talking about? Or what does it need to be for it to be considered a date? And of course me, like I'm not so logical and strategic. I'm more spontaneous. Like, let's just go on a date and have a good time. Like, be adventurous. And so that's another thing we had to understand. He needs to see it on paper on the calendar, and I want to be more spontaneous, but I have to be able to compromise with my partner to make sure that what my needs are getting met. So I think that's what we've done now, where it's like, okay, 1 date a week, you pick one, I pick one, quality time in the car, and that's kind of where we're at, experimenting with the dates.
Agreed. And to further go along with this, like for me, it helps to know not just the quantity of dates, also like what we're planning to do on the date. The planning of the dates, that helps because I'm not spontaneous. If it doesn't get on my calendar, it's not going to happen. And my calendar's booked for like 2 months out right now. I have other things that make it harder, like being a bodybuilder. I can't just always go out and eat off plans. So we needed some dates that aren't food dates. But then Ali had a good point today. Like we're about to go smash legs. Probably don't want to plan a bike ride right after this. I mean, it's just gonna be hard. So finding more ways to communicate and delve in and make sure that they're both what we want. Oh, I had another point. I forgot what it was. But it was like going further into the communication around dates. I feel like we just had this talk recently. What was it?
When we were planning out like trips, dates.
I don't recall. I guess maybe like more of what a date is or what a date is to you. I don't remember. Not good. No?
Well, I mean, I think what came up was me driving and you working in the car and not feeling like it's very intentional quality time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, no, that's what it was. So, yeah, like, back to just discussing your needs, it's a constant evolving process. Like, yeah, Ali didn't actually express herself very well the first couple months. In fact, right around month 2, I remember I was standing in the kitchen and she came to me and said, since we've been together, 60 days now, you've never come to my house.
It was kind of like you were
You've
on trial.
never met my friends or family. And we've been on like 3 dates. And when she told me that, my response was, you're 100% right. Thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for telling me where I'm not fulfilling my end of the obligation. And I think now that you've mentioned it, you've done what you can. Now the ball's in my court. I have the information. I'm not a mind reader. Yes, if I sit down and look at it, like, should I have gone to her place in the first 60 days? Probably. Should I have made an effort to meet her friends or family? Probably. I work nonstop. I take no time for myself. I don't see my own family enough. And I honestly probably didn't make enough time for Ali, or at least in the ways that would have mattered more. Like, yeah, sure, come over, we'll watch TV. It's a lot different than like 3 nights of that versus 1 night of, I'm going to come out to you and meet your family and spend some time with you. So, again, I value that I have a partner that will communicate what she needs, and I encourage you guys to do that. Nobody here is a mind reader, and you might be like, oh, that's obvious. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm just stupid. It wasn't obvious to me. I don't want to lose this. Once it was made obvious to me, I think I've made a better effort.
You have.
Still need to go out there more, and that's on our to-do list, and I've put it in the calendar now. It doesn't happen unless it gets planned for me, but it does happen if it gets planned. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I'm not very spontaneous. I'm so busy. What I was going to say, one last little thing for the communication. I do this on Instagram a lot, guys. I do this on YouTube. I'll be vulnerable. If you have a good partner, if you have a healthy partner, a non-abusive partner, practice vulnerability. Ali, it makes me I feel really sad if you fall asleep one night and you don't call me to say goodnight. How does that sound versus, Ali, you really upset me last night, you didn't call me. Like, one is like, help me, my feelings, like, I just need a verbal hug, like, oh, I'll get you next time, babe, versus, you did this wrong and you made this like, I feel versus you did.
Words. Choosing words wisely.
Huge, because if you have a supportive partner like Ali, and you express some vulnerability and how you're sad or upset or hurt or scared, I'm scared that you're not going to be here next week, is a lot different than you're going to fucking leave me, aren't you? And
God, heard that before.
Heard that before.
I've heard that tone before.
Yup. Not for me.
No.
I just want to clarify our past traumas. But so that was something I did learn in therapy. Is those I feel is a great start to getting your partner on your page. Because Ali comes to me and she's like, John, I feel so scared that we're not going to work because we haven't seen my family that much. I'm going to be like, oh, come here, let me fix this with you. Versus, John, you suck, and like my family thinks you're weird, you don't come out, you got this green hair, and all you do is work out. That's going to just push me away. So, yeah. That was good. I think we need to do more. I don't think we can cram this relationship into 20 minutes. Hey, it's 1:11.
I saw that. Yeah.
Time to sign off. We are all about numbers. All right, y'all. This has been a John and Ali relationship talks. Yeah. Who are we going to send this to? Guys, I don't think she watches.
Alex's Goats?
Okay, I was about to say you don't even watch my channel. Yeah. Send it to everybody, but especially Alex's Goats. John and Ali wish you the best day ever. The Bodybuilding Vegan and Conscious Living with Ali out.
Peace.